workers that we've made a promise to.
Well, and I think any time we deal with this issue, I think that is what is first and foremost. We've made promises. We've made promises to our current employees and our current retirees that they will have a dignified retirement and a pension that is funded. When we talk about the funding level of the pension, and it is significantly underfunded, it's not to say that it's going broke. We put money into the pension every year, and we continue to do that. The problem with the pension right now, though, is that we have a system that doesn't work, is not sustainable mathematically, really. I mean, when you have the ability that half of your employees can retire at the age of 50, have, in some cases, a pension that is 75% of their base pay, and at that point, if they retire at 50 after 20 years, they're likely to live well into their 80s. You can see that the math just doesn't work. It doesn't work. That pension plan is not sustainable in the long term. So the discussion that we had last year was completely about how do we put more money into the pension? We had this big discussion about privatizing garages and directing money in and borrowing money to do it. And to me, what we should have been talking about is what are we going to do about the cost side of that equation? How are we going to deal with retirement ages? And fortunately here in Pittsburgh, we've got very cooperative public employee unions who recognize this problem and want to do more. Police and fire want to see the retirement age back to 55. Police and fire want to keep a defined benefit plan, but are willing to contribute much more to it so that it will be sustainable long term. So those are really the kind of answers that we need to deal with this problem. Clearly, the city has its part. We need to put more money into the fund, but we can't continue to put money into a bottomless bucket. It just doesn't make sense for Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Michael. There's one other question that I've been asking every candidate that I give a question to, and that's, have you ever been endorsed by, sought, or simply were planning to seek the endorsement of people concerned with the unborn child, Life Path, the Southwestern PA, or any other anti-abortion?
Yeah, I'm not real well liked by that crowd. So no, I have never sought that endorsement, and certainly have never received it. So I guess I can speak freely. Thank you very much. Listen, I am really glad to be here tonight for a couple of reasons, and let me just talk really briefly about my relationship with the media in Pittsburgh, because I really work to have a very positive relationship with the media in Pittsburgh, and I know that Chris Potter doesn't own a tie. So tonight I didn't wear a tie so that he would feel more comfortable here up on stage tonight, and that's one of the great things that I try to do as a public official in dealing with our friends in the media. Seriously, though, 4 years ago, it's hard for me to believe it's 4 years. I sought this office seeking to do a number of things. We sought to make the office more effective, and we've done that. We've beefed up our audit staff. We are now, for the first time, performing audits that the charter, Pittsburgh Charter, requires us to do. We're in every department at least once every 4 years, and we are on track to do that for the first time. So we've been doing that. We've been doing fiscal audits. We brought in someone to beef up our fiscal audit staff, and so we've really have raised the skill level of the office, and I think you're seeing it in the recommendations that we make, because we are making recommendations to make the city more efficient. Another goal that we set out when I first ran for office. In all of that, what we wanted to do was make city government more transparent. Nothing better than a lot of sunshine in the city to show what's going on down there. So we've done a number of things. Last year, for the first time, we released a public annual financial report, sort of a layman's version of the comprehensive report, so that people could really see where we are as a city. And it's something that we will do again this year and plan to do every year to provide that information and make that information more accessible to taxpayers here in the city of Pittsburgh. And then the other thing we did is we created a website called Open Book Pittsburgh, which is lists every contract that the city enters into, along with all the political contributions and all the lobbying disclosures that get filed with the city, so people can really see who's getting city business, does it relate back to pay-to-play type issues, and so we have all that up on a website, reviewable by anyone who wants to see it. Those are very positive steps forward. In the end, when I ran for office 4 years ago, the one thing I wanted was that if I ran for re-election, I wanted to stand up and say, when it comes to needing reliable financial information or information about the fiscal condition of the city, you turn to the city controller's office. And I think we've accomplished that, because people really do come to us when they want that kind of information. Now, to do this job, you need to be, I think, more than anything, one thing, and that's independent. And I've been that. I think you all know. I'm an independent Democrat, to the irritation of some at times, and even whether it's the political decision-making that we do or the way that we unroll issues and audits in our office, we're independent, and we try to be. We don't try to be particularly adversarial. Sometimes we are, but we really do try to be independent. I think that really is the key for us doing the job that we do. Let me just talk about one other thing. I'm glad to have the question about pensions, and I was very involved in that debate last year, and I think in the end, Council did a great job in getting things done. But I think most of you who know me in this room know me to be kind of a glass half full kind of guy. I'm an optimist. I live by the old song, you have to accentuate the positive. But I would be kidding myself if I didn't tell you that I'm a little worried about Pittsburgh right now. I'm worried about the direction we're going. I worry when progress is halted by petty politics. You know, I'm worried when our leadership is talking about people rather than about ideas. And so I worry about the direction we're moving as a city. And really, when it comes down to what I do and why I run, that probably has more to do with it than anything. You know, I am concerned. You know, this year, later this year, I will be releasing the financial report of 2010, and it will show for the first time that the city ended the year in the red, first time since I've been in office. We've got problems, and significant problems, that need serious consideration and serious proposals. Unfortunately, a lot of the proposals that we've seen to deal with some of the issues are either sort of right-wing privatization type schemes, or proposals that seem to be more interested in what the pinstripe patronage is getting rather than what ordinary taxpayers here in the city are getting. So I am concerned about that, and so we work to be involved in those issues. That's why I got so involved in the parking and pension issue. It's why I'm very involved in this issue with respect to, if you read in the last week or so, this ERP system, this financial management system that we are working on with Allegheny County, and for some reason now has come to a halt. You know, we really need to address these issues in a constructive way, and in a way that in the end really deals with what is necessary for the people who live here in the city of Pittsburgh. And so I am, again, I am an optimist. While I have these worries, I also know that I see the great potential of this city. You know, I was in Brookline this morning, in the Brookline Business District. I was at Party Cake Bakery, which is a great little business there. And I love, you know, I'm from Mount Washington. I grew up in Beachview. Spent a lot of time in Brookline. It's kind of my area, and you know, I love to see those businesses like Party Cake, and there's a great little Mexican grocery there, and there's Pita Land, which is a, you know, sort of a Mediterranean grocery, and all those businesses doing so well in a little business district that I'm guessing that most of the people in this room rarely get to. But there's those little pockets of potential all over the city of Pittsburgh, and it encourages me, and certainly I hope that we can see that kind of thing begin to foster itself and grow even more. So I get to do the job I do every day. It's a job that I love, and I get to do it because I've had the support of people like you in this room, and so I thank you for that, and ask for your endorsement tomorrow so we can continue to do the things we do to make Pittsburgh better. Thanks. Thank you very much.